we're doing today is Ultherapy. Ultherapy is a skin tightening, skin lifting treatment. It is actually approved by the FDA for tightening the layers of skin as well as lifting the tissue. The really unique thing about Ultherapy in comparison to some of the other skin tightening devices is that Ultherapy actually has different transducers that go to different depths of the skin. The deepest transducer with Ultherapy actually goes all the way down into what they call the SMAS. The deepest layer of tissue, it's the layer of tissue that lies directly above the muscle, and it's also the same layer of tissue that they tighten when they do a surgical scar facelift. So as you can see in the chart here, there's many different types of options for tightening the skin. You have Ultherapy here on the left, you have radiofrequency, and then you have lasers. Lasers typically will go about 1.5 millimeters into the skin. Radiofrequency tends to go like between 1.5 and 3.0 millimeters into the skin. With Ultherapy, we're going 4.5 millimeters, which as you can see is just above the muscle there. With Ultherapy, you will find that it's a little bit uncomfortable. You will have some areas that are going to hurt more than others. You'll also experience some what we call zingers. With those zingers, you're going to feel them a little bit in the area that we're treating, but you also may feel like you're feeling them in other areas of your body. For example, it's really common when we're treating the forehead to feel like you can sort of feel some of those pulses throughout your hair follicles on the top of your head, and that is completely normal. The really awesome thing about Ultherapy is that results are not instantaneous. Now, some people may see that as a bad thing, but for the most part, the nice thing about Ultherapy is that it's your natural tissue responding. There's never a chance that you're going to look unnatural, and it's not going to be like one day you look different than the day you did before. It's a very gradual change. It starts at the 3-month mark. I feel like the majority of the change that you'll see starts between the 6 and 9 month mark. So you'll notice over that period of time that it's just going to gradually get better and better. We do typically suggest that you come in for pictures at 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, and 12 months post, just so that we can evaluate the results and see how everything's going for you. Do you have any questions before we start? All right. So what we're going to be doing now is I am just going to be using this little ruler just to create a graph on your skin. The purpose for the graph is just to give us a guideline as to where we're going to treat with the Ultherapy. There are certain areas of the face that we cannot treat with Ultherapy due to key nerves and muscles. So we will be marking those areas that we cannot treat with an X. All right, so I am going to give you this vibrating tool. I don't know if you remember this, but I'll always have you keep this on the opposite side of the body that we're working on. So we'll start on the right side. So put this in your left hand. What you're going to do is you're going to keep that against your hip bone. Anytime you're feeling discomfort, you press that button. It's supposed to help deflect your pain receptors away from the area that we're treating. Okay. And then for your other hand, I will give you this stress ball. Okay, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Five left right here. All right, so here we go on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. We are doing another 10 here. All right, you're halfway done with this part. 5 more. You're doing good. Just a couple more. Last one. Okay, all right. You are doing great. Three more right here, and then you done with the worst part.
Okay.
All right. With this more superficial transducer, I will tell you the forehead is still going to be kind of sensitive, but it shouldn't be as bad as that first pass was.
Okay.
All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. So for this part, just so you know, it's gonna feel kind of like I'm holding the handpiece over your eye. Nowhere where the energy comes out is gonna be over your eye or even like within your, or like over your rim.
Okay.
But I am gonna have the part that we're treating like right here. So because this handpiece is big and awkward, it's gonna feel like it's over your eye, but I promise you I won't be pulsing anything over your eye, okay?
Okay.
Alright, you are done.
Okay, that was so bad.
Yeah, you handled that great. So yeah, in case you don't remember, it is normal, sometimes for even up to a couple weeks after Ultherapy, to feel tenderness in the area that was treated. So you may notice for the next, like, anywhere from like 1 to 3 weeks that when you're washing your face, if you're, like going around your eyes, it might feel a little bit like you're pressing on a bruise, and that is totally normal. And the nice thing about this treatment too is that there really isn't anything product-wise that you need to avoid at all after this treatment. One thing, however, that I do want you to keep in mind is that we do want you to avoid anti-inflammatories or steroids for as long as possible after the treatment. Ideally, the most important time frame to avoid them is going to be for 2 weeks from today. But really, for, like I said, as long as possible, like if you have a headache, we recommend that you take acetaminophen over ibuprofen. Alright, Tiffany, that is the end of your Ultherapy upper face treatment.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
A few of the spots were kind of tender, but knowing that it wouldn't last very long, kind of helps you get through it.
Definitely. And I know we obviously just did this treatment, but from your last Ultherapy treatment, how did you feel post-treatment?
I had a little bit of bruising, but nobody ever said anything to me about it, so I think I'm the only one that could actually notice it.
Yeah.
It was very light, and then I did have some soreness, but it wasn't anything that affected my day-to-day. It was just a little, like I felt like I had a bruise on my face. I feel pretty good with my results so far.
Perfect. And would you recommend Ultherapy for friends, family looking for skin tightening?
I would, yes.
Okay.